remember them, this would be a classic example, because back in August 30th, I spent 3 full YouTubes, 30 minutes, explaining why it's impossible to have a woman rabbi according to the Torah, and then I followed up on Facebook by printing posting a note, right, which I believe I tagged you on, and it was called "Women Rabbis Are an Oxymoron," and I wrote the entire script of what I had said in our YouTube, and I even answered up all the possible questions that could possibly come from it. One of those questions was this silly one that you've come up with. I've already talked about that before, about prophets, and the answer is that that a prophet is, the whole problem with a woman rabbi is that she's a leader, and a prophet is not the kind of a leader that Torah would have a problem with if it was a woman. Just like it's okay for Obadiah to be a prophet. He's one of the 12 minor prophets in the Tanakh. And he was a ger. And a ger, which you said yourself here, you said it here that night on August 30th, you said that a convert cannot be a leader in the Jewish people. And so the question is Obadiah, and the answer is that a prophet is not the kind of a leader that the Torah has a problem with. A prophet is not really a leader. It's just somebody who comes and talks to them. He's not like,
Hoskiner.
Yeah. So that whole thing is a straw man on that Kal Vachomer, so you can throw it out. Because the problem with your Kal Vachomer is it assumes that the problem with the reason why women can't be rabbis is because of prestige. It has nothing to do with prestige. It has to do with being a leader and having power.
What does it mean to be free? We aren't born free, we have to work for it, and freedom is not possible without God and His law. You can't be free unless you can control yourself. Otherwise you'll be addicted to TV or to fun or to gambling or adrenaline highs or alcohol or sex or whatever. As slaves, the Jews were not responsible for their own destiny. They didn't have to feed themselves like poor people in the Western world to get welfare and free health care. The government keeps expanding school lunch programs. The left wants to take responsibility away from parents and give it to the state. We'll feed your kids and we'll give them college and free abortions. So the greatest desire of the Jews in the wilderness, it seems, is to be taken care of. Kind of reminds me of all these complaints that these South Korean actresses are complaining that, oh, we had to have sex with all these various people to get ahead in our profession. Like, you could say to me, hey, Levi, I want to cast you in this movie, but you have to have sex with these 3 guys.
Why does it have to be guys? Say 3 women. Make it something that's like...
If they said you have to have sex with these 3 women, I'd evaluate how hot they were.
Okay, let's make it realistic, right? Because you're saying, oh, well, I wouldn't do it if they told me to do it with 3 guys, right? Because 3 guys would repulse you.
Absolutely.
Right? But if they said 3 women, you had to bang 3 women to get, you could have, if you bang 3 women...
Yeah, I could get a partner made you much.
You get that doesn't interest you. Your blog would be picked up and you'd have like your own, you'd be given like your own, some publisher would pick you up and give you like a $35 million advance, and they're going to make it the Times bestseller for next year.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, I guess I'd be willing.
And the women they're going to throw at you would be,
Mila Kunis, Natalie Portman.
Why does she? Because Khaima Malik always brings up those women. No, I was going to say, like, one would be like a really hot Persian chick, right? One would be like a really hot Asian babe, because I think you like them.
Maybe a black woman.
And yeah, like a black woman with a big booty.
Well, I guess like however distasteful it would be for me to have sex outside of marriage, if I could get $35 million, which I'd give much of it away to Torah, I guess I'd be willing to sacrifice my honor for the sake of Torah and the Jews. I guess I would. But
you actually would do it?
Yeah, heck yeah. In fact, you wouldn't even have to give me $35 million. I'd take $35.
You're a whore.
But just buy me a nice lunch.
Oh my God.
Nice kosher restaurant and yeah.
You could never be me.
No, thank God.
You could never. I have women literally throw themselves at me all the time.
Send them to me.
Oh, I wanted to comment on a couple things you just said. One is you talked about the difference between free and slaves.
Yeah.
So there's a famous thing in a Talmud, and it talks about how a true free man is slave to God. It's like a binary. If you're a slave to God, then you're free, right? Because you're free of all your worldly problems and everything. You just are a total 100% slave to God. And nothing in this world bothers you.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's a free man is the slave to God. Who's the slave? Is the person who's completely free from God. You know, completely severs the cord, the connection between them and God. That's the slave. Yeah. Because they're now become the slave to this world. And they can't get any divine intervention because they won't allow any. Right? It's all because of them. Like if they succeed or if they fail, it's based on them alone, and they don't let themselves realize that there's some God in it. You become a slave to everything in this world. What's going on here?
So Oregon on 4th down lined up to punt and throw a first down pass, and now they just completed like a 40-yard pass to like the 2-yard line.
They went for the point conversion. They're doing all like the
because they realize that matched up they're not as good as Auburn, so they have to use tricks.
Or it's that they've noticed that Auburn is not used to playing against tricks, and they're taking advantage of that. They're exploiting it.
They probably think Auburn thinks that tricks are for kids.
That's what I was thinking. Yeah. Now what are they doing? All right, so that was one thing. The other thing was you just ran by something really fast. You said that the greatest desire of the Jews
in the wilderness is to be taken care of.
Taken care of. I don't agree with that. The Jews said Nisa v'nishma. You know what that means?
They said that at Sinai. Yeah.
But Sinai's in the desert.
Okay.
They said we're eager to do. That means we will do and we will understand later. Nisa v'nishma. We're eager to do stuff. You know, we're ready to go. We don't know what to do, but we're ready to go. It's like, you know, we're volunteers. Here we are. Sign me up. We're good to go. We're stormtroopers, right? Here we are. I volunteer. I enlist. Tell me what I got to do. So I don't think they were looking to be taken care of. They were like the guys who like, I want to go learn Torah. God's going to give me the Torah. I want to go sit in kollel my whole life. Now, who's going to give them sustenance? It's got to come from somebody. Either God's going to have to come through, the community's going to come through, and there's nothing wrong with that. If you take the attitude and you look at them and say, oh, they're trying to be taken care of, then the alternative is throw them all out of the yeshiva and make them go get a job.
Yeah, that's what we should do.
Well, then there goes your Torah. You just killed Torah.
Why can't they study it in their breaks?
No, because then all we would be is generations of giving birth to... What happened? What happened? Did you get in?
3rd down, they got it down to the half-yard line.
Okay. Because your jaw dropped open like something major happened.
Well, it looked like he was going to score.
Oh, okay. So all you would be doing is perpetuating people who have no knowledge of Torah.
Why can't they study it in their spare time or while they work?
That's
like listening to it on headphones.
You've got to have... Because Torah is not going to survive on people learning Torah a couple of hours of the day. If the entire... You're not paying attention.
They were stopped on 4th down.
They did not get in?
No.
Fail. Okay. Torah will not survive in the Jewish people. It's going to die. It will be something in the books, but nobody knows what's in there. It would just be like collecting dusts.
Just have your elite study Torah, and 99% of people go get a job.
Wait, have who get it?
The elite, the cognitive elite.
So that's the exact attitude that Jews had that caused Torah to fail in Europe, in many places. Because only like the most advanced could go learn, and everybody else had to become the milkman. And they were Am Haratzim. That was why Hasidus spread so quickly, because it reached like the common guy. You want to go back to that and put everybody to work, and only 1% of the people should be learning Torah.
The other 99% can learn Torah at night. They got 5 hours they can learn at night.
You're not going to learn. You're not. A few people might learn the whole Torah with 5 hours. For something this broad and so technical, you're going to need